So welcome everybody to the CultureHub Belgrade convening. I am Maddie Barber-Bockelman. I work with the team at CultureHub, and I am here in person in Belgrade, Serbia, with a room full of artists who are coming from Serbia and a group that has come from the US and a couple of other places. And we have a Zoom room full of our international collaborators who we've been closely working with throughout the past year, throughout the pandemic. And in a different world, we would all be gathering together in person, but since restrictions and different things exist, we're having this hybrid gathering, which is really interesting because I think it's sort of a path forward for us to continue to bring this international community together at all times. So the way this is going to work is we're going to have about 30 minutes of screenings of past shows that we've done on Downtown Variety. And Downtown Variety is a program that CultureHub and La Mama created at the beginning of the pandemic to experiment with this online forum and see how we could continue to provide a home for artists to experiment and push this new online forum. What else am I saying? So the theme of the CultureHub Belgrade convening is digital strategies, solidarity, digital strategies for creative resilience. The whole room was helping me with that one. And so today, that's sort of gonna be the overarching theme of this conversation. Everyone has been creating art in the pandemic, so this is what we're talking about, is how have we been doing this? What opportunities has this opened? What challenges have we encountered? And what do we want the future of art making and international collaboration to look like? So I want to pass the mic quickly to Mia Yu, just to say hello and to welcome from La Mama. Do I look in the camera? Look in the camera.
Hi. I'm Mia. I'm the artistic director of La Mama, but part of an amazing team of folks, and so thrilled to be in the room here with this incredible lineup of people that are going to be working for the next few days, and also very happy to be online with all of you and the folks that are on the Zoom call as well. So let's see what happens in this conversation. Thank you.
Cool. So there are many other people here that you'll hear from throughout the night. And I just want to first give a shout out to, yes, La Mama and the Seoul Institute of the Arts, our founding partners at CultureHub, and Echo Anamato, who is our partner here in Serbia. And the venue where we are in Serbia is UK Petrobrod. And we're really grateful that they are hosting us. So let's go to our first, it's going to be a few performances. We have a performance by Annie B. Parson and Stacey Dawson Stearns, Aaron Samuel Davis, Joseph Brock, and Peter Case. And these are all performances that we created with these artists at different points throughout the pandemic. So yeah, let's see it.
I say, then, that in the year of our Lord 2020, there came the death-dealing pestilence, being sent down upon mankind for our correction. Lo, this pestilence had now unhappily spread from the east, and, at the coming in of the spring, it began to show forth its dolorous effects. At the beginning of the malady, certain fevers showed themselves first on the brow and then in the breath and then spread to every other part of the person. To the cure of these maladies no counsel of physician nor virtue of any medicine availed, and this pestilence by communication with those who are sick thereof, gat hold upon the air, as a fire upon things.
For the mere touching of the clothes appeared to communicate the malady to the toucher. So, to shun and flee from the sick and thus doing, each thought to secure immunity for himself.
There, drinking the finest wines they abode, never choosing to hear any news from without of death or sick folk. Others maintained that to carouse and go frolicking and scoff at whatsoever befell, was a very certain remedy. Some abandoned their own beloved city, their own houses, their kinsfolk, and fled to the countryside of others. And the authority of the laws of our city, both human and divine, was all fallen into decay, for the governors were all either dead or sick. The condition of the common people was yet more pitiable to behold, for retained by poverty in their own quarters, sickened by the thousands daily, untended, sickened by the thousands daily, untended. The condition of the people was yet more pitiable to behold. The condition of the common people was yet more pitiable. The condition of the common people was yet more pitiable to behold, for retained by poverty in their own
Dear little sister, you'll be happy to know I now have a fantastic view of the river you've always loved. In fact, other than being in the water, or indeed submerged within it, the view from my place of residence could not be better. I feel safe here, most times. The sounds of the city slowly sighing its final breaths is diminished here, especially if I stay under the bridge. It is good to be under the bridge, because I cannot see or be seen by the passing traffic. The stones above me were placed by hands long before all of the hands became contaminated, long before the hands became a number to keep us apart. That was when thoughts were clean and the mind was not infested with the pestilence. When Culpepper said the disease was not catching and did not move from person to person or house to house. Do you remember that before time? I asked you that once. You remembered that when? And you said, what? Since the vermin and the disease spread throughout the city, felling commoner and king alike? And what little system of social welfare was in place was washed away with the many bodies floating in the river and the fire kept pushing into me.
To the bottom of the stairs. I started climbing and
It seems
ever
like
closer.
I have the wisdom of Solomon.
It was not going to be. I was going to give it a fight. I am going to give it a fight. You will not take me.
But I struggle.
I planted my feet in the ground. I felt
I'm hurt.
the last bit of my stress arrive through my. I puffed out. I knew what I needed to do. It came to me finally. I was trained for this.
I'm the worst.
I looked at it and I said, "Leave me
Worst.
in the name of Jesus. Go!"
But I'll stand.
But it just stood
And
there,
stare.
looking at me.
Face.
I felt it
Heaven.
laughing at my spirit.
I have to keep trying.
Pressure evermore.
I have to keep trying.
Go! Please. It just looked me dead in my eyes. And it said, "We are one."
Prettiest train that a man has ever seen. And I go to Jackson River beyond me. Lay your head on a man that can't be seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Prettiest train that a man has ever seen. And I go to Jackson River beyond me. Lay your head on a man that can't be seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Prettiest train that a man has ever seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Lay your head on a man that can't be seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Prettiest train that a man has ever seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Lay your head on a man that can't be seen. And he goes to Jackson River beyond me. Prettiest dream that a man has ever seen.
Pin you. I'm going to replace Spotlight. So
Hello, everyone.
Peter's joining from the UK. And yeah, do you want to just tell us a little bit about that piece that we worked on back in August?
Sure. I mean, it was a really interesting experience, and one that I kind of quite value, and it was an interesting learning experience. My intention with the piece was both to tackle a technical challenge that I wanted to sort of set myself, but also to work with some form of narrative text in a site-specific location, along with obviously working with everybody else in terms of making it happen, and realizing that technical. So the technical element was live streaming from the middle of the River Thames on my own. The other than obviously the significant technical support that was remote. I think for me, the experience of it, what was the most fascinating and the most interesting and kind of the most interrogative, other than, you know, the fact that it was kind of created in the midst of I think our second lockdown here. So obviously being, you know, kind of imprisoned, there were all these sort of emotions that were going on. But what was really interesting performatively was this sense of being in a city of millions and millions and millions of people, and being online with I'm not sure how many people, and yet being completely and totally and utterly alone. And it's probably other people probably have had a similar experience using this technology in this way. There's a degree of parallel with my teaching as well. If the students don't have the cameras on and you're just not sure how they are engaging. So that was a very profound sort of an interesting thing, was to be on the river in the middle of a you know, a major metropolitan city, and yet be completely by myself at the same time. It was a really interesting experience.
Yeah, when Peter first came into the rehearsal room and he was on a boat, we were like, what the? Like, you never know what to expect. But he didn't quite prepare us for that part. Cool. So let's keep seeing some stuff. I also just want to mention that for folks online and in Zoom, that we're also showing these with all of the participants in the CultureHub Belgrade convening, because we're all going to work together over the next 3 days to make a short piece. And many of the folks here have actually already shared work on Downtown Variety Serbia edition, which you'll see later. But yeah, this is sort of getting the gears working. Okay, so the next two pieces that we're gonna see are from artists who are sitting at this table with me. So the first person we're gonna see is Shauna Davis. So I don't know, Shauna, do you wanna just grab that mic, pass that mic to her? And yeah, do you wanna just briefly introduce yourself and share a little about?
I'll do it after.
Do it after? Okay, cool. All right, and then we'll also see a piece by Christoph, so we'll hear from them both after. All right, let's go for it. Let's play Shauna Davis and Christoph Garbachevsky and Dream Adoption Society.
I'm feeling like a million, though I haven't got a dollar, a shilling or a cent, still I'm feeling like a million. And I want to get this over to you, that I'm feeling like a million. Though I haven't got a villa, a dugout or a bed, still I'm walking like a million. With my hat on the side of my head, what is this thing that I've found through the days that I've clowned? Is it you that's around? I got a crazy feeling I could jump up to the ceiling, 'cause I'm feeling like a million. Though I couldn't buy a collar, a necktie or a glove, still I'm feeling like a million. Is it you, is it me, is it love? Though I'm flat, though I'm broke, though I'm bent, I'm contented to never sigh as time goes by. There's a gleam in my eye, and inside of my heart I'm a lucky guy. There's a reason why I'm feeling like a million. Though I haven't got a collar, a shilling or a sou, still I'm feeling like a million. And I want to get this over to you, that I'm feeling like a million. Though I haven't got a villa, a dugout or a bed, still I'm walking like a million. With my hat on the side of my head, what is this thing that I found through the days that I've clowned? Is it you I found? I got a crazy feeling I could jump up to the ceiling, 'cause I'm feeling like a million. Though I couldn't buy a collar, a necktie or a glove, still I'm feeling like a million. Is it you, is it me, is it love?
So we had an actor in New York, and then somebody in Poland, and you in Poland. Yeah, right. Everybody was remote.
I want to breathe. Come on. I want to breathe. Oh. I want to cry.
Okay. So, yeah, let's just have Shauna and Christoph just introduce yourselves and yeah.
I'm Shauna Davis, and I'm a dancer, choreographer, movement maker based in LA.
And when we made this together in July, this was the first time that we had worked together with Shauna, and we were saying here that we had maybe like 2 rehearsals, and maybe I can quickly just introduce also Sungmin and Deandra. Sungmin was just, I'm gonna pin you, Sungmin. Sungmin was just saying, I think I was crazy during that time that we were doing those rehearsals. Because, and something that I think is really true about this online work is that the technicians sort of have to take on a performer's energy because they're doing the live editing of what the audience sees. What do you think, Sungmin?
It was really crazy time. We did a really like she performed, she dancing, and then also seeing her performance. Also, I can adding the effect like I'm dancing to effect.
So true.
It was really interesting for me because I feel like during the pandemic, being stuck at home, and it was also during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I was increasingly, while I was really bored, I was really frustrated, I was really tired, and I was growing tired of dance as this proscenium experience that I'd grown up doing, and this performance was kind of my introduction of breaking that and using different forms to come in to inform, or using dance to inform a different story that I want to tell, and not just be for the sake of the shapes and the movement. So yeah, that was started, I think, via CultureHub.
Yeah, and here we are 1 year later together in person. And then Christoph, who there's like some saying like, and now for something entirely different, which is how Downtown Variety is. But yeah, Christoph.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm Krzysztof Gorbaczewski, and we worked here with Dream Adoption Society, our collective, for this VR piece for Downtown Variety, and we were in different places all over like Poland, and Jim Fletcher was in New York performing here, but actually with this fragment it's funny that we were a bit lost, I mean, actors, the communication ways, we were still solving these issues, so they didn't even start it when it already finished. So that was the story with that fragment. But yeah, still it was really interesting to develop this form of digital meetings and performance in this virtual space. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of all of that coordination and sort of like internet-based stage management, I also want to introduce Deandra Anthony, who I am now spotlighting, who is our lead technician at CultureHub New York. And Deandra's in New York. And yeah, hey Dee.
Hey. It's pretty wild watching all these performances back. Feels kind of like, how did we do all of this? Like, it's such a unique experience, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of it, you know?
Yeah, and at the end of this performance, we generally would do like little interviews, and at the end of Christoph's, a really great moment happened where I was like looking at all of these freaky avatars, and I was like, so which one of you is Jim Fletcher? And then they did sort of like an I am Spartacus moment where they were like, I am Jim Fletcher, I am Jim Fletcher, I am Jim Fletcher, and everyone was running around, and that was a really good moment.
Yeah, that was great, and actually thank you Deandra and Matti and Sangmin, you know, it was great collaboration together with you that time.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to show some work from our international partners from the international editions of Downtown Variety. So I think we'll share the work first and then talk to folks again. So first we wanted to show just an excerpt, just a teaser from Downtown Variety Seoul Arts Korea edition, which happened in March and was a really exciting collaboration because we were collaborating at Seoul Arts in the ATEC in the Ansan campus, and that building and those students and that staff, the whole team there is like extremely sophisticated at all of this, the telepresence and the broadcast systems, and they were in a physical space, so that was a really exciting kind of step forward. So let's play that Korea edition, and then we'll hear from all of our collaborators in Zoom.
내가 여유로울 수 있는 건 나의 능력이 아니다. 어쩌면 운이 좋은 걸 수도 있다.
그 고민들은 끊임없이 부풀어지고 무거워지고 작은 나는 더 작아진다.
Great. So I think now I want to pass it over to Cecily Kwan, who will help us introduce everyone who's joining from Seoul Arts.
Everyone, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Cecily Kwan, and I'm here in Korea. Let me introduce our team, all from Korea. Bosul, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Okay, so she's the CultureHub Korea director. And Woody, are you there?
Hello. Hi. How are you? Yes.
And
can you hear me?
he's one of our directors of PDs. And we have Dianing, who is in Indonesia. Dianing,
hello.
say hi.
Hi, everyone.
And we have Andrea Cacciotto, CultureHub Italy director. You're muted.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Mr. Lee, President Lee Namjik. I think he is trying to make his way in here. If please let him in if you see him.
I just let him in. Cecily,
okay.
There's like a wind that's coming in your microphone, I think.
Oh, all right. Let me turn that off.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. So here he is. While he's getting ready, I just wanted to say a short blurb to show my appreciation. My name is Cecily Kwan, and I'm in charge of international relations at Seoul Institute of the Arts, which oversees CultureHub. I'm so thrilled to join you here from Korea. I really wanted to be there, but everyone said no, no, because I hadn't been vaccinated yet.
In charge of international relations at Seoul Institute of the Arts.
Praying for a speedy end to this pandemic. Well, first of all, congratulations to CultureHub for the first international conference in Serbia, and a warm welcome to everyone. I want to remember the two founders of a CultureHub at this time, the two individuals who had the vision to what is going to happen today and tried everything they could to make it a reality. Dak Kyung-yu, the former president of Seoul Institute of the Arts, and Ellen Stewart, the founder of La Mama. Can I show some pictures?
Yeah, I think you should be able to. Can you?
Okay. Yeah. So, oops.
Yes, we can see it.
Oops. So these two individuals who envisioned what was going to happen today, and they tried everything to make it into a reality. Dak Kyung-yu, the former more than 20 years ago, Mr. Yu met a doctor who told him of telemedicine, where a doctor in New York could operate on a patient in Hawaii. He was so inspired and thought, why can't we do that with performing arts? He envisioned the world where people from all over the world would communicate, create, educate, and enjoy each other just where they are, with only a screen between them. He started planning and looking for systems and people who would join him in this endeavor. And at that time, people didn't really understand. Is there a need? Isn't it too expensive? How in the world? People thought he was crazy, just a dreamer. But he traveled, however far, to meet people and in search of the technology and to find decent space in order to make CultureHub possible. I know for a fact because I searched with him. He spent countless sleepless nights thinking how this would work and what kind of programs would be needed. And people weren't really listening. But when he told Ellen, she was completely behind him, and she said, do what you can to make it a reality. Use La Mama, which was the biggest asset she had. So CultureHub was born. That was 11 years ago. Little did we know that a tiny organism called coronavirus would push the whole world to do everything online. But here we are today, communicating, creating, educating, and enjoying each other's company, just with a screen between us, even though we are worlds apart. Even though Ellen has passed away, and even though Mr. Yu doesn't feel worthy enough to make a speech just because he's the founder, I'd like to give them credit and show my appreciation and recognition for all they have done for us to make today possible, and I am sure their hearts are with us. So I really want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. Seoul Institute of the Arts believes in a borderless world where, when it comes to art and art education. That's why CultureHub is so needed. We are able to open new worlds for our students thanks to CultureHub. I hope that we will continue to open up new worlds for all people wherever they are.
Thank you, Cecily. And President Lee, I think you're with us now too.
Oh, President Lee is here.
Hi.
Thank you so much for making the time to join us, President Lee. It's so exciting to be connected in Serbia and Korea and everywhere else too.
Yep. Hello to everyone in Belgrade. Here, good night, but maybe you are good afternoon. Let me congratulate you from the bottom of my heart for the first International CultureHub Conference. This is a meaningful milestone for CultureHub. How nice it is to see everyone gather together with one purpose to enrich mankind through art and technology. This is such an important mandate, especially during a time like this, when we are socially distancing ourselves and becoming more distant from each other, not only physically, but emotionally. I'm delighted to see that despite the worldwide pandemic, you all are breaking the barrier to get together, to learn, to create, to enjoy, and disseminate with artistic flair the way in which we can continue our mission, which is exactly to break the barrier and push our limit to enhance our creativity and to overcome the issues and tasks we are currently facing. As the title suggests, I wish for unity and solidarity to pull through beautifully and creatively, and helping others to do so as well through our art and technology platform, CultureHub. My heartfelt congratulations once again, and I look forward to many more of these conferences in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Lee. Amazing. Great. Yeah, I think we'll all talk in the conversation. Yeah. So let's see the last couple performances from the international folks. So, because I want to get to the conversation so everybody can talk. So let's the next international collaboration that we have is Downtown Variety Serbia edition, and this was a big step for the community in Belgrade, and we have a lot of the artists who performed in that edition here. So let's see it.
They're models, beauties, but not unattainable because anyone can make them. You don't even need to spend much because the content of the cake is not important. You can't taste anything by watching a YouTube video. You can't smell anything. Even if you glaze your cake with your own shit, it's still gonna look like a delicious chocolate coating. People would still salivate and dream about cutting it and biting into the universe on the glaze, the galaxy, the bloodstream. Do you bake?
You will remember
that they are there, still. And sometimes we will remember.
Yeah. So that was just a few tiny excerpts from Downtown Variety Serbia edition, but Anna is here at the table, and I'm going to pass the mic so you can introduce yourself and just say a little bit about that collaboration.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. We are really extremely happy. I'm really sorry that it's only me at the table because there is a lot of people who actually were part of this Downtown Variety Serbia edition. It was really a huge and important thing for us, for our organization especially, to gather such amazing people and to make something new and interesting. We had also had a great collaboration with Sangmin and Deandra. We have to say hi to them because they're like yes, there is applause here. Yeah, so this was really one of the important steps in our development, and we are really happy that we now can meet new people and maybe continue this collaboration. It was fun, you know. We didn't do so many telematic performances. We were mostly in our own apartments or in someone's apartment and doing stuff. And now it's really funny. We were laughing because nobody ever expected that we will actually perform in front of these people, you know. Usually it was just to the screen, and now suddenly we have an audience and we can see our work, and we're like, wow, this is totally different hybrid structure, and it's really exciting. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sort of now going faster because I want to get to the conversation part. So let's see Downtown Variety Kenya edition, the excerpt.
Hello. Danny. Yes. Ario maber, irio nade. Abudho ni awacho ni awinj duondi matin. Koni to ok ochwe ahinya, mana matin gi chieng' mapile. Mana mar drama cha. Adhi temo. Adhi moso gigi te. In bende ogwedhi. Oriti.
Pantalomo kaba mama Tubananga Yesu kese bilo belango ya bato Likwela yanga ina shehi Sukalilitama Na yebaki Suka seko tingamae Ingali na mobai nangai Pantalomo kaba mama Bananga Yesu kise bilo belango ya bato Likola yanga ina shehi Sukalilita Oh ngai na ya ho Na yebin kongo ya mbandate Oh yangai na ya ho Libala kongo bombandate
Great. So, and we have Aroji Otieno, who is coming at us live from Nairobi, Kenya. in the room. So Oroji, and Oroji was the director and organizer of Downtown Variety Kenya edition. So remotely, hey, Bold Theater, yeah. Hey Oroji, oh, where do you go?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm having a bit of trouble with my internet, so I hope you can get me.
We're hearing you.
Oh, great. Yes. So thank you for inviting me here. That was, there's much to talk about this, but I just want to, appreciate everyone who was involved in this production. It was very much sort of like, very much a collaboration with CultureHub and La Mama in producing this, because initially we hoped that we could do it live, and then we sort of like had it was a time, I don't think it's as bad as that, but back then our internet was really a challenge, and the cast also was having a problem with connectivity, and so we decided to record that. And so it was quite an interesting experience doing theater, but having a film set feeling.
Yeah, this was a very different approach that we had because of the internet issues, but to me it still felt very much like theater because they were improvising, and there was still something that wasn't just like a film about it. So let's move into the long table, and I'm gonna stand up now because I've been sitting, and anybody else who needs to stand up or like stretch or anything can. And I also just want to introduce Gilberto and Danny Pinheiro, who are part of this conversation as well, and who were part of a project called Local Report, which a lot of international folks participated in, people in Serbia as well. And that was a project with Robert Whitman, where people took short clips of audio and video from all around the world, and it was sort of woven into an audiovisual tapestry. So we didn't get a chance to show some of it today, but I just wanted to say hey to you guys and make sure that you guys are feeling welcome. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello. Cool. And we can talk about it during this conversation. So I need one of these papers. So we're going to move into the long table discussion, which is a format that was created by Lois Weaver of Split Britches, which is a resident company at La Mama, and she created this format because she was a little bit frustrated with the typical talkback formats that happen in theater. So basically, like, this is a totally open and unmoderated conversation. I'm just going to read from her long table etiquette. So we have our table here in Serbia, and this is a performance of a dinner table conversation. Anyone seated at the table is a guest performer, seated at the table both physically and virtually. Talk is the only course. No one will moderate you, but a host may assist you. It is a democracy. To participate, simply take an empty seat at the table. If the table is full, you can request a seat. If you leave the table, you can come back again and again. Feel free to write your comments on the tablecloth, on the yellow papers. There can be silence. There might be awkwardness. There could always be laughter. There is an end, but no conclusion. So this is going to be a time-limited conversation, and then hopefully it'll inspire others. So the topic of the conversation is this theme: solidarity, digital strategies for creative resilience. And folks in Serbia, if you want to speak, you have to speak into the microphone for Zoom to hear you. And Zoom folks, if you want to speak, just please feel free to unmute and go right ahead. And same for you all. If you need to take a break or go away and come back, you can feel welcome to. Yeah, so maybe, and this is my me passing the potatoes to maybe Daniel Pinheiro or Gilberto to maybe talk a little bit about Local Report.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here, so I can say something.
I don't know if you can hear me. Yes, I think yes. So I just want to say that I really love this way of acting, so free. We need with this sort of possibility, because there is too much structure in life, and so we cannot really find ways. And this is a good way, I think. So thank you for this sort of organization. And I really appreciate to be involved in local report, because it was a very simple things to do, and the people can be together in a very simple way, active way and simple in the same time. And you can also go in the life of many other people just with very simple things to do. So to put two people together wherever in the world, just walking, one watching, the other listening, and create 3 videos and send this all to the organization, to the CultureHub, to La Mama, and they create this video, putting together all these things. So the people really feel involved. I was there with the University of Roma Tre and also with the National Academy of Dance, and people really love to be part of this group in this easy way. So you can show, you can make the other able to touch your feeling in a very easy way and in a very free way. So I really love the way in which you are acting, and you are inspiring also the work of others. And just this for now, then I will come back, because I love it. It's lovely to speak just for a little time and then open the stream.
I think if I can just add to that regarding local report, I'm Daniel, and I'm speaking from Portugal, where I was also part of the project Local Report, coordinating a small group of students. And I just wanted to say, after what Gilberto said, that since we're talking about digital strategies for resilience and solidarity, that was a moment when that happened a few months ago, was the second confinement in Portugal. So I think it was, and the students felt really happy that they were able to be part of something and engage on some sort of but a collective experience. And so I think it's one of the many examples, as the ones that we've seen here, about how can we activate the network and technologies in order to continue to be together and imagine new possibilities, work new possibilities together. So yeah, that's my potato goes to someone else right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Željko from Echo Animata in Belgrade. I've been thinking about the topic that we set up, solidarity and resilience basically being the keywords of it, and creative resilience. And to be honest, I mean, this is not gonna take a dark turn, but a little bit. I mean, when I see everything that we presented here today, and when I see all the people sitting, being together in so many different countries, and this amazing work and everything, I feel that like basically we already have the solidarity and we already have the creative tools for being resilient. But since we do live in a capitalist, well, I'm not gonna swear, but world, I think that like what Danielle said, I think we also need to be a little bit more practical and think about the sustainability of our work, which isn't mainstream, which isn't popular in terms of the global culture or whatever, and which isn't financed. At least here, it's extremely hard, or anywhere basically. Art is just not financed enough, and yeah, this is something that I'm thinking about, and I think that
maybe a solution is what Danielle said, creating a network, which now we have this amazing thing, internet, that we can use and share our art, and also kind of try to share resources in any kind of way, if it's possible. I mean, even if it means shipping props to someone to another country or whatever, just. Yeah. I mean, that's just something that was on my mind. Maybe this was totally uncalled for, but yeah.
When you said sustainability, I wasn't necessarily thinking about financial sustainability, but then you said the word and I was like, oh, that's something that I'm really struggling with or working through in my artistic practice, is how do I supplement the financial part of being an artist with maybe some, like, I don't know, more mainstream things in addition to the art that I want to create, that I feel is more DIY. But along with that, I don't know, there's an internal struggle of what does it mean and how many different forms of artwork can I make and still maintain my integrity. Yeah, that's something that I've just been dealing with in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing. This is also important that you say, because for me, like coming from Serbia, when you say you're dealing with something like that in Hollywood, you know, it is an important topic, because people are probably dealing with it in Kenya or here or anywhere in the world, and I don't know. It's, yeah. I mean, I don't want to just talk about financing. But but yeah, it is a struggle to maintain your artistic integrity in this world today, and this is a perfect way to do it, because this doesn't actually cost you much, this form of art. But yeah, I think we should basically also create a network, promote it much more, and also get the money. Just become popular, because this is so cool.
Yeah, I find that my resilience most comes not in the work that I do to make money and the commercial things that I do, but I feel like it really takes, first off, I agree with what you said, that resilience and solidarity is just baked into us already, but I find that it especially exists in the part of myself that, is this microphone projected? Okay. In the part of myself that wants to like feel really creative from the DIY perspective, it's, I don't know, during the Lemon Dance, I was having such a difficult time because of all the protests that were happening. I just felt so stuck. I felt like for years and years and years, I hadn't really made something from my core because of all of this, like societal bullshit. And yeah, awakening that part of myself is, I don't know, something that I'm doing with this resilience.
I think, can I jump in? Sorry. I think I wanted to pick up on what was being said about the financial issues. I think those things will always be part of the art making, and there will always be a mainstream and a more experimental field, and which I think I've had the luck of 10 years ago starting to collaborate with CultureHub and be introduced to this way of art making, and that's what I've been doing also, which has always been a very DIY way of doing it. What I do feel perhaps with the pandemic, suddenly there was no mainstream that we could go or attend to because everything was like put in this online space, and we could see more well-known artists creating work for this medium, and at the same time other people continuing to experiment new with other things, like what happened with Downtown Variety. I think it's a good example of that. I think what we have now, it's maybe a common ground to everyone that this is also possible, and that these networks are available, and that fortunately there are organizations like CultureHub that have been working these processes and these projects that I guess they already represent, at least to my knowledge, this idea of people coming together, which I think it's already solidarity in some sense. And then what can we do with that? What questions we want to put? Maybe that will be the content of the artistic work, perhaps. Maybe if we want to raise like specific questions about anything, I guess. Just thinking out loud. So
I'll chime in, continuing on this idea of finance. It's like some kind of, it's like a bad word when we talk about art and integrity and everything. But if, like you guys are saying, it's such a practical issue. I mean, we need to eat, we need to pay our bills, and all of that informs, at least for me, it informs like what kind of creative energy I will have ultimately anyway. So what's exciting, with the aspects of like virality and how something can suddenly become really popular and you can even monetize it on YouTube. And the potential, I think, to sustain one's own art, and then having this great network like we have here is it's exciting to find clever ways that we can address how to sustain it. Like maybe with the next DTV, there could be a Patreon link or a micro donation kind of avenue that, it's akin to admission, for, Black Box Theater event or something, but, we're not bound by physicality. And so I think we can be really nimble and creative in how we can sustain ourselves and address it like, very directly and unabashedly. It's like, I see a lot of YouTubers do that too. They'll have their, you can become an exclusive member, do this Patreon thing or some kind of subscription payment or something, which is very, very modest. But then, the scalability of it, when you think of the global reach that you can have, then it becomes something that can actually be significant for artists. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys brought it up because it is something that it's always going to be there, and I've always had a dichotomy in my practical work, commercial kind of stuff, and then we call my own stuff, which is the stuff that is always sort of battled, like keeping them very separate, but I realize that's actually part of whatever is I call my artistic work is definitely been informed by what I've done to pay the bills, and actually I've gotten great tools from that kind of work. So each, I feel, informs the other, and it doesn't have to be an exclusive, mutually exclusive things, Anyway.
I need to
Glad
take
you
a
guys brought it up.
lesson from you on that. I need to take a lesson on how to integrate those two in a harmonious way.
Yeah, I mean, I think some great, we all know great innovations come through necessity and practicality, you know, so yeah, I mean, they'll have to always coexist. Yeah.
I would like to add one more sustainability possibility. And as you know, recently because of coronavirus, and most of performing artists do not have enough chance to have their own stages. But there are some risks and also opportunities. So quite recently, one of the buzzwords in the entertainment or maybe is metaverse. And it's a new maybe spaces, maybe using virtual reality, augmented reality, or mixed reality things. So there are another the spaces for the artists to play with their audiences, crossing the time and spaces. So it's a new type of medium, and so we can devise new performances, and also it's another economic spaces. So you already know about the NFT, non-fungible token, using blockchain technologies. Your art pieces can be issued as an NFT, so you can get some financial rewards from those kind of directions. Maybe that's a new trend. Maybe Professor Kim Bo-soo can add more ideas on that. And I would like to request to Professor Kim Bo-soo about a recent her trial.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us, and glad to have a conversation. And it's very interesting about this, roundtable idea. It's very maybe our new try, but yes, thanks to Nam-Sik Lee, our president, to mention about the NFTs and the performance sustainability, and I really relate with what Udi say is, there's a work for, budget and living, and there's a work for your own creativity. And it's always a mixture or a battle of where you position yourself, and finding the balance and trying to make those two closer as possible is our lifelong task, I guess. So I guess just to add about the changes of bringing your work into this blockchain-based NFT. I've been from like Marchish, I've been also very much interested in this area, and actually trying myself as an artist to bring my work into this world. There is a huge debate because of the environmental issues and very much of taking so much of the electricity and sustainability and eco and all that. There's a very big discussion, of course, but in terms of what we were talking about of the economic sustainability, I think that could be some another way. And there, I think the blockchain also is finding out to find a way to economically and eco-friendly based, such as like Tajos, not Ethereum based, but Tejos, like this different kind of platform. But in terms of when we want to bring performative art, it's the the body and the flesh, right, to perform and bring the ideas. And sometimes there's like copyright issues or, you know, like collaborative work and all that. So I found, I mean, there was an example having like a choreograph rights, and sometimes the rights are not dedicated or credited to the performer or the choreographer. So sometimes there's like some examples that bringing those into a holographic images so that the credits can get offered and, you know, credit to the choreographer or to the dancers and so on. And so that it itself can be the non-formative or you know, graspable ideas or arts can also be have its own, you know, price or have its own, you know, value as economic value. So I think there's a new room and new phases of coming with this digital technology evolutions. And I mean, I think bringing our performative into the online, like the Downtown Variety, you know, series, it is already a leap, but bringing more going toward the metaverse and like blockchain and NFT, this type of bringing it into this new technology is also giving a possibility for artists to try to bring those two lives together. So yeah, I mean, I think that was some from my own practice from the last several months, and while I was trying to work on these on myself, but at the same time finding maybe new possibilities for the performance arts. That would be maybe a possibility in the near future. Yeah, well, that's all for me.
I just want to mention that Lennerson Polonini, who is in this room, not video yet, but I see your name, and he is a collaborator in Brazil. Oh, he's on the in the car, it looks like. And I just wanted to say hello to you, Lennerson.
Hello, Maddie. Hello, everyone. So sorry for my delay, but I became a father yesterday, and I am in hospital today. Yeah, and so I'm happy, but my life in this week is a mess.
Lennerson, I can't believe you made it.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, and why didn't you tell us?
Thank you. So I can't see because okay. So the table discussion is centered in the resilience and digital works. So, but I think it's the most important. It's talking about the importance of digital works in this time, because we have a very strong extreme right movement around the world. Brazil, Hungary, many countries in South America. So it's very, very bad to democracy, because this movement, it's against artists, it's against Black people, it's against LGBTQ more people, indigenous people, and in Brazil the situation it's very bad because this Bolsonaro government, for example. And the digital works have a very important paper in this period, because it's possible talking about and struggle against this with these digital works. And in my company, for example, we did work and adaptation about a play by Richard Foreman, The Gods Are Pounding My Head, that talking about two lumberjacks that cut many trees, and for us is the Amazon, yeah, for example. And in this moment, the situation of Amazonia, it's very bad. And and display, for example, show this situation. Many artists in Brazil work in this direction, making works that reflect the reality nowadays. So I think that's it. The digital works have a very important place in this global world, I think. So that's it. That's my little contribution of this table today. Thank you.
I think for me, two moments kind of stick out to me and let's keep talking more about it. But one is when Lennerson Polanini said, "I just had a baby yesterday," and another moment was when we were watching Christophe's VR presentation, and there was the question, "Are you feeling something?" And I feel like in us thinking about resiliency, sustainability, in us thinking about, why are we using these digital platforms? I think that that's kind of at the core of sort of what I believe we're trying to do at La Mama, or the work that we're forging ahead with CultureHub, in experimenting with this platform is sort of, what is the human spirit, and what is it to tell a story that we haven't heard before, and what is our shared humanity? And that speaks to us, that hits us in a different way. Like I'm still feeling what that moment did when that avatar said to the other avatar, "Do you feel something?" So those are the kinds of questions that I think we should be maybe thinking about sort of in the next few days. Is yes, new forms of storytelling, underrepresented voices or underrepresented stories, and also, yeah, what does it mean to be human? And that's something. Christophe, you and I have been talking. With Billy, we've been talking about that all the time. Like, how do we find that in this format that feels at times cold and distancing and to me, that's why we make art.
Talking about feelings, if I can say something, is that I wanted to say that now I'm feeling like I can breathe, because I don't have to wear the mask, and nobody is wearing the mask. Not even in Serbia, you're all sharing the same room and nobody is wearing any mask. So I feel that I can breathe more than when I walk outside the house, and even if I go to a park, I'm wearing a mask. And this makes me think about, what do I want the future to be? If it is true that what we do today determines what it will be tomorrow, I if that is true, I'm starting to feel that I have a responsibility of what that future will be. And so when we're talking about theater, and I've been involved in practicing remote collaborations for a long time, and thank God that internet exists, because talking about sustainability also, this allows us to work with community, with collaborators in any part of the world, right? So our job is not just located to where we physically live, but we can collaborate and work across distances. But so thanks God that this exists, but what kind of theater do I really want? Not because I'm kind of retro or nostalgic, but because I think what will happen to us when we really forget what like, or touching somebody. And there is a lot of science fiction from the early 20th century that has imagined a world in a sort of a internet deity God that connects everyone separated in their corners, and humanity forgets what it feel to be outside, what does it feel to touch each other, what does it feel to see the sky. And so I think, and there is no, for me, there is no yet an answer to the question. If we just do theater online or performance offline, is this what we are producing of the performance in the future? And I don't have an answer, but what I've come up to as a thought that at least helps me to continue further is that certainly it is true that even in this medium, we can feel each other. I can feel like I'm breathing now. And it is also true that artists, when exposed or any kind of form or technique, they will always try to find a different way of approaching it, a way of transforming it and making it more human. So certainly also the contribution of the artist in the technology, in the use of the technology, can be that of continuing, as Mia said, of sharing stories about the human experience.
Okay, maybe I could add just something that I mean, I was just thinking about this when someone here mentioned YouTube and monetizing on YouTube or things like that, and I think it's kind of impossible with the things that are happening here to like easily monetize it through the like a ways that people nowadays do it in a pop culture, you know, that it needs some kind of different ways, and NFTs, of course, some kind of like hope that digital artists and maybe at some point digital performance could also gain on this, like and you know, this capitalistic system is really right now you know, it cannot go farther even if we would like to. I mean, but it needs to change itself. Yeah, like there's this reports from Italy, like Roman report, you know, like saying that all the resources on the earth are just finishing, you know, and we cannot just like that drain the planet, you know, out of those resources, and so we need to think about new ways of doing stuff, and not only cheap, but just in a different way. And what I have the feeling from those meetings here, that they are really somehow very spiritual. I mean, it's maybe also in this capitalistic world it's like hard to talk about the soul or spirit or being a human, like developing us as a human beings, but I just feel it's somehow happening here, that we are getting deeper into something, and maybe it's not like it's not so you know, like a well done product as Hollywood movies or something, but then it's also, you know, you have kind of hangover after watching those Hollywood movies. You know, they are promising you something, you know, some kind of like an old school catharsis, but no, it's like just getting you nowhere, and this kind of conversations, like I have this here, the instruction for the stable conversation, and it says like it doesn't need to go anywhere actually, and there might be awkwardness, or there can be silence, and there's no conclusion. So these are the things that are somehow closer to us as human beings. And I don't know, I would mind an NFT out of that, you know, out of those meetings, and maybe someone would like to invest in it, and yeah. So let's hope so.
No, I'm just.
I was gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna pick up on what was just said about making that, like making this NFT, and my experience is, or also culture has taught me that it's also about how we hack the systems or the platforms or the structures, and I guess the internet has proven that that's possible in so many ways, and to hack the structure that we're taught and normalized into growing up or being part of. So I think it's interesting to explore these mediums or these tools that are available to us in ways that are different from ones that they are given to us. Like, I don't know, like Zoom, for instance, and try to make something different with it, and not just by the rules or like the things that they said. Maybe it's just a video conferencing platform, but in my experience, I've been using it to make performances and artistic actions, or just actions. I don't want to call them just artistic actions, as a means to think about what these tools also mean to impose on us as humans, and perhaps their technology has been developing in a way that has put us separate from one another, and that's very visible in the pandemic, of course. But whenever we do, or I do a remote performance, I'm usually alone in my own space, and then I just turn off the computer and I remain alone. But there is some sort of energy that comes through the using of it, that it's the energy that was being talked about, and that Mia brought up, that it's humanity, and how do we want to continue to communicate with each other. And I continue to think that that's the main it's the main thing to address in whatever artistic form we're doing and whatever medium we're using to tell it.
Okay, my timer just went off, and we're gonna respect these long table rules. So thank you all so much for joining us in oh, somebody's saying something?
Are you making a conclusion?
We're making a really neat conclusion, because it just can be tied up really easily, I think. You know, it's a simple conversation we're having.
Can I just say one more thing?
Okay, Cecily. You're breaking the rules, but that's all we know how to do.
I want to take an example of my son, who is not a performing artist, but he's a designer. And when he got out of school, he couldn't find a job. And he worked on his portfolio in order to get a job, but he wasn't making a cent. And his dream, of course, was to be financially independent. But after 2 years, somehow, trying hard, Universal Studios found him, and they thought he was very talented and started giving him projects. And then other companies started giving him projects, and he suddenly started making a lot of money. I mean, like money that I had never even dreamed that he would make. So of course he was really happy, and we were all happy for him. And so that continued for 3 years. But after a while, he said he can't take that anymore. And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, you know, he's drawing all these things that the company is asking him to do, and he doesn't feel like he's being creative. He feels like he's just doing what he's being told to do. And no, he's making, he can't just continue to do that. So now he is taking some projects and then doing his own, you know, as you said, doing his own work. And what I started thinking was that, you know, artists need creativity, need to be creative. Money cannot really make you an artist or even make you happy if you cannot be creative. And while you're being creative, even if you're not making money, it's making you, I think, live spiritually. And it's like a tree that is rooting but not showing leaves. And when the tree takes space in the soil, it starts to produce leaves and fruit, and that takes a while. But artists are like their own companies, and so whatever you do is your own. Even if you sell it, it's your own thing. I'm talking because I'm not an artist. You know, most people are working in a huge corporation, and whatever they do is not theirs, but whatever artists do, it's yours, and you keep that skill. So if you're thinking, you know, am I ever gonna make a living out of this? You know, should I continue in this? I think that's what we're talking about in terms of resilience. Some people take a short time to take root. Some people take a long time, but you know, you will take root. And I want to encourage you to continue to be creative and to continue to believe in yourself, even if things don't seem so easy right now.
Can I just say something as well? I mean, because I do agree with everything that we said, and it wasn't like just about the money that what I was talking about. And I mean, I am a material girl, but still. But I have a suggestion, because actually what's important is what happens after this talk or any talk like this. And because I mean, I've been to some talks that just ended and then nothing happened afterwards. And like, for example, today in the room, we have a very like serious activists. We have artists who do some socially responsible stuff. And we're not gonna know about each other unless we actually, after this talk, maybe, I don't know, we can create like a mailing list or something and just check out each other's websites or what we did so far. And if anyone finds anyone's work interesting, maybe we can make a contact and just say, this is great, I don't know, present your film in my small festival, or whatever, you know. I think that's like something that we can get out of this, which also is like kind of recognition, which is kind of material as well.
We'll do it.
Please add some Pelinkovats.
What?
Pelinkovats, please.
Bellingots, okay.
Okay, it's official. It's over. So again, thank you all so much. I know it's all over the map with time zones in this Zoom room, and I'm really grateful for everyone being present. Really, really grateful. And everyone in this room. I know talking isn't always the most exciting thing for us to do as artists, and next we're gonna actually get to work. But thank you all for being here, and thank you to our online audience. And I just wanna say that you didn't see Billy Clark, who's the artistic director of CultureHub, but yep, that's his hand. He's been operating the camera this whole time. We're a small team here, so yeah, yep, they're saying hey back. All right, I think we're going to play a local report, if that's okay, Jean, on The Way Out, which is a project that I also wanted to say that Dianing, what involved students in Bandung, Indonesia in, and that'll be our sort of outro for this live stream. And again, thank you so much. We'll have another long table discussion tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I think now for Serbia folks, we have a break.
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah. And then in 15 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, yeah.
Let's go to a live stream. I hope so. And then we meet here.
And then we'll be back here for, until 7.
이곳은 학교 정문에서 나와서 신호등을 건너면 볼 수 있는 공원입니다. 날씨가 따뜻해져서인지 사람들이 많았습니다. 햇살도 잘 비치는 공간이라 따스한 봄 날씨를 더 잘 느낄 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
Antić Bulevar umetnosti, Novi Beograd.
Noemi, sono la piazza del mercato di Villanova, ci sono questi alberi abitati da questi uccellini ma che il loro suono, il loro cantare non si sente perché c'è sempre questo chiasso, questo inquinamento acustico che non permette di ascoltare.
저는 연기 전공 김지연인데 제가 지나가다가 학교 옆 마트에서 과자 여러 개를 묶어서 파는 걸 보았어요. 근데 코로나라 저희는 묶여있지 못하는데 저렇게 묶여있으니 참 보기 좋네요.
The busy streets of Chinatown don't seem so busy at 2 in the afternoon.
Inês Sincero e Tomé Pinto, Jardim Marginal de Viana do Castelo.
Masih sekarang udah hujan lagi tapi kita jalan aja. Oh iya, mini khusus buat dia. Rumahnya ke dalam gitu. Ini pasti lu bakal suka deh ngeliat.
Kwa majina naitwa Nuru Rubeni, niko area ya Ethiopia hapa Kakumawani Zone 1 Block 8. Niko mahali inaitwa Family Cafe, ni hoteli wanakunywa kafe hapa, wengine wanaagiza soda, vitu kama na hivyo, wengine wanaochiochi. Niko na waona tu hapa kila mtu akijihudumia.
고양이 모양으로 된 석고가 빙글빙글 돌고 있습니다. 마치 고양이가 편하게 앉아있는 듯한 모양을 하고 있고 이 조각은 굉장히 울퉁불퉁해서 이 고양이가 어디를 보고 있는지 또 다리가 어디 있는지는 크게 유추할 수 없습니다.
Hoi, mijn naam is Bemis Cody en we staan nu aan het IJ in Amsterdam.
서울예술대학교 연기전공 조수현입니다. 현재 저는 중앙동 시내거리에 있습니다. 길을 가다가 식당 안에서 식사하는 사람들을 봤는데요. 테이블 간의 거리가 예전보다 멀어졌고 자리마다 칸막이가 설치되어 있었으며 포장을 기다리는 사람들은 많았습니다. 식당 안에서 식사하는 사람들은 많이 없었습니다.
Hi, we Brenda here again at YMCA premises, specifically at the pool, the swimming pool. It's so fascinating seeing people swimming around, going under the water, upward. Personally, I have no concept in it. It scares me.
It's Ella Stokes. I'm walking past my local petrol station in Surrey.
Nada Antić, Fakultet dramskih umetnosti, Beograd.
Sono Noemi, sono ai giardini di Villanova. I giardini sono transennati, sono vuoti, desolati, mentre gli adulti fuori continuano le loro passeggiate. E qui invece ci sono transenne, altalene ferme.
저는 연기 전공 김지연입니다. 제가 서울예술대학교에서 중앙역으로 걸어가는 길에서 벚꽃이 활짝 핀 나무들을 보았는데 어떤 나무는 벚꽃이 하나도 안 피어 있네요. 이 나무들이 외로워 보입니다. 빨리 피길.
An ark with dragons on it.